probably seen the songs on my channel that have been dropping in quick succession. Well, I want to take a quick moment to talk to you about how magical the journey of creating these songs has been, because truly it's been full of so many manifestations. So the origins of Manifest you heard about the channel, how it came to be due to the inspiration during a Caribbean cruise. Well, the songs were also inspired thanks to a comment in a group WhatsApp chat that I got added to that contained a whole bunch of Caribbean cruises. Someone said, my favourite Abrahams set to music on YouTube stopped working, and I suddenly thought, I've created songs before for my partner and just thought, I could try making an Abe one, because 3 years ago now I really wanted big name singers to release songs with lyrics that actually resonated with me and felt good. I knew that what I was singing was affecting my subconscious, and I wanted good things to be doing that, not all kinds of crap. Just never ever did I think that I might be the one creating the music. I had no idea that it would be possible at that point, and actually really had resistance around AI when it first came out, despite my brother singing its praises constantly. Anyhow, I grabbed a bunch of Abraham text I had and popped out my first song without giving it much thought, and suddenly I Accept was born. I'll pop the links below to all the songs I reference so you can find them easily. The early draft of I Accept that I shared in that WhatsApp group was so well received that I stuck it up on YouTube exactly as it was to make it more accessible to people, and then began playing it on repeat just for myself. And as I did, I realised that the lyrics, I accept when I ask it is given, it is already done, I just stand in the blissful anticipation of all the fun, had really begun to sink in for me, and it felt good. This songwriting stuff was paying off for me, in my life, for me, something I really hadn't anticipated in quite that way. I didn't think much more about it because creating that first song had been such a throwaway experience. I'd done it and then not really cared about it. Until I told myself I wanted to work on the manifestation stories side of the Manifest channel one afternoon, but just wasn't feeling properly lit up, so decided instead to pick up listening to an Abraham Now that I'd gotten part way through. Now, please appreciate that normally when I listen to Abraham Nows, I usually insist that I listen to the whole thing in one go, much like deciding to eat all the food I'll eat for the day in one sitting. This time, however, I wasn't putting any pressure on myself to get through it all, and instead was just dipping in and out for a few minutes of time, whenever I felt the call, and this was one of those times. And the flow that Abraham offered was all about how to shift out of a funk, rather like the one I was feeling at the time. And boy, did it shift me out of that funk. In fact, it shifted me right into creating Up to Me, which less than 90 minutes after I'd finished listening to that extract of Abraham Now, was written and up on YouTube. This time I flowed with so much alignment, and the results of that can be seen in how different Up to Me feels from I Accept. The feeling I had in that moment was of such high flying, I wasn't sure I'd ever felt more aligned in my life. And once again, the lyrics served me again and again and again. The number of times I felt some negative emotion and would just remember that, as the lyrics say, I can music in gym. And sure enough, I'd turn my music on and of course play Up to Me. So every time I started to dip emotionally, I'd turn to music, my music, which told me exactly how to shift out of that dip. Talk about directly impacting my life. So I wrote Up to Me on the Thursday before leaving at 5 AM on the Friday for Edinburgh. And the feedback was mind-blowing. I had people saying they wanted everyone to sing it on the next cruise. I had someone suggesting that I sent it to Esther, which I did. Then at the Edinburgh workshop, one of the hot seaters was asked, what lights you up? Spend 90% of your time doing that. And he replied that it was DJing. And I just immediately thought, writing songs is what's lighting me up right now. And so that's what I'm going to do 90% of my time while it feels good. And when the next thing feels good, I'll do that next thing too. Especially also during the workshops, while visiting the toilets, I was trying to find my way out and walked right into two women with teal-coloured hair having their photo taken together. These women didn't know each other, but had been attracted to each other, and I figured I absolutely had to join in the photo. And we all parted separate ways without really exchanging contact details, and it was only when I shared the photo in the Caribbean Cruise WhatsApp chat that I saw that one of them was in that group. We'd actually been on the cruise together, not met, but here we were doing that now in Edinburgh. And then I bumped into her right at the end of the Sunday workshop after my hot seat experience, as we were being encouraged to leave the building, and she asked to have a photo taken with me in front of one of the Abraham signs that read "Co-creating at its best," of all things. And then she asked if I was doing any more cruises, and I said, yes, Panama next year. And she said, oh, we're doing all the cruises this year. And I was like, what? How? And she went on to explain that her and her husband have a YouTube channel and that they pay for the cruises on credit, and then their videos of the cruise pay for the cruise. My head nearly popped because having a YouTube channel was exactly what I was doing, and that sounded so much fun. Plus, she had no idea that I was actually wanting to do live streams at the events of people sharing their manifesting stories. She explained that they do it in Japanese for a Japanese audience who can't get enough of it, and she can often do it in her PJs. There's just no pressure. She's just having fun. And so the dream of my desires was all being evidenced in greater and greater ways. I'd also written down that I wanted to attend more Abraham events, and here's someone literally telling me they make the money to pay for the events from having fun at the events. Interestingly, the comment that was made that originally spurred me to create I Accept, my original song, was made by someone I didn't know at that time, have gotten to meet since and experienced a really fantastic connection with, and has been one of the biggest champions of my songs. In fact, they celebrated me writing I Accept when I had completely forgotten I'd even done so. She sent me a message 9 days after I'd created it, telling me how much she loved my music, and at that point it was such a non-thing for me, I couldn't even remember what she was talking about. Again and again throughout my days now, my own lyrics will come into my mind, and I'll receive that Abraham insight in a great feeling reminder, because it's in song form in addition to spoken form. After creating Up to Me, I had an Abrahamer who had a front row seat on watching my very fun journey unfold, say she'd like a song to wake up to, a gentle feeling song to help her set up her day. And I instantly thought of the Good Morning Rampage that Abraham had done. It's one of my very favourite clips. And so once I was back from Edinburgh and thinking of ways I could have fun in my day, I flowed the lyrics to My Morning out of that rampage. And with even more love and cultivation going into it, it is now my own go-to first thing in the morning. Then, a day later, I tuned to my recently non-physically focused chicken, Noir, who had transitioned just hours before I was called up to the hot seat and had sat on my shoulder during the Sunday afternoon workshops. She suggested we write Birds of a Feather. Writing with Noir is something I never imagined doing. In fact, just months ago, I had yet to get comfortable with talking with non-physical beings outside of listening to Abraham. And so publicly being okay with admitting I do, and even sharing that a non-physically focused chicken of all things was writing lyrics with me, was something I expected people to think I was nuts over. But there's absolutely no doubting how perfectly she picked the words, that not only applied to the thoughts of all of us Abrahamers attending workshops, queuing up to get in and having a blast interacting with each other, but also to her and the way actual birds do interact too. I'm certain there will be more and more manifestations behind each of these songs that I write and release. So who knows, maybe there will be another episode on songs soon. For now though, join me in playing these songs loud, and happy manifesting.
It's a total win-win. The universe backs us up.